Alright, hey YouTube, I just realized that I'm about almost 6 months on T, and I haven't made a video besides an update video since before I started T. So this video is going to be basically my whole transgender story from start till now. So it all started when I was 2 years old. My earliest memory relating to gender was at the age of 2. I was with my mom at my grandparents' house on my dad's side of the family, and I didn't see them nearly as often as my mom's side of the family. They had gotten me a present, and it was a wicked girly outfit. It was this like frilly, it was a top and bottom, and it was pink or purple, or pink and purple, and I just remember feeling like they are not going to put that on me. And, you know, they got all excited, they're like trying to get it on me, and I'm like, no. So I threw a fit, and I was like pounding my fists and kicking the floor, and they just realized at that point that they were not going to get that on me. So they made a deal with me that I could wear either the top or the bottom, and, you know, we'll call it a day. And I remember choosing the pants because they were a lot less girly, and my mom put on a plain white, one of my plain white turtlenecks, and then I remember going outside and playing. But it's so weird that that sticks out to me, that I remember that so vividly at the age of 2. Like, I don't even know if a lot of people remember anything from that long ago, you know, from that young. So at that point, I think that kind of like threw up some red flags to my family, like something isn't right. But nobody ever caught on to it's more than just a phase, you know. So all throughout elementary school, I got mistaken as a boy. I was a boy. You know, you could try and tell me that I wasn't, but it wasn't working because in my head I was a boy. I knew I was different in the sense that people were trying to tell me I was a girl, and I didn't understand, but, you know, I just kept living as a boy. I wore all boy clothes, only wanted boy toys, only played with the boys. It wasn't until I was 12 that I had my first friend that was a girl, and I believe that all my friends, you know, at the young age, you know, of like 12 and 13, I just were friends with them because I had a crush on them. I'm not sure, but I don't know. Right about the beginning of middle school, I realized that people don't believe me, and they're never going to believe me that I'm a guy. So I tried to just fit in, and I liked having friends. I wanted to be, you know, well liked. So I just did what everybody was telling me to do. I didn't dress like a girl or act like a girl. You know, sometimes I did, but it was more like gender neutral, like jeans and a sweatshirt every day. And I just lived like that for a couple years, but I was by no means happy. So a couple years later, probably about 10th grade, I was sick of living like that, and I just couldn't figure myself out. And I just had so many buried feelings, and I was so confused. So I ended up coming out as gay. And I never actually said I was gay, but people just assumed it, and I let them assume. So then I, you know, went ahead and dressed like a guy because that was the only excuse that I had to be able to. So that went on for about a year. And I was watching a lesbian collab channel on YouTube where I saw an FTM. And at first I thought he was just like a normal guy, and I was like, what is he doing on this channel, you know? Come to find out, he was an FTM. He was transitioning from female to male, and it was just like a moment of realization that I can't even explain. It was the greatest feeling that I have yet felt, just of so much making sense to me, and it was just such an exciting, amazing feeling that I don't know, just to know that being transgender was a thing, and that I'm not crazy for knowing I was a boy all these years, and that there was a way to make myself happy and to look and feel like myself. It was just an amazing moment of discovery. And from that moment on, you know, there was no turning back. Right away I came out to a couple of my closer friends, and, you know, started off by asking them to call me he and Michael, and then started making more changes, like cut my hair, got a binder, started packing, and all that stuff. And I lived like that for about another year, which was a really confusing year. Like at work, it was pretty funny because when the managers and the people that didn't know left, I would put my name tag on that said Michael, and when they were there, I would take off the name tag and it would be, my previous name. So it was pretty interesting. I was living pretty much a double life for a while. And finally, I just couldn't handle it anymore, and I needed to just continue on with my transition, so I sucked it up and came out to the more harder people, which was my mom and the people that she came out to for me, just like the other people in the family. But that was all that was left to, besides my boss at that point. So I came out to all of them, and that was a great feeling. I couldn't get on T for about another year after that, so I lived as pre-everything, but Michael and he got my name changed and everything. It was really, really hard to come out to my mom, and it took her a long time. She never didn't support me, but it took her a long time to, get over the fact that, her daughter was becoming her son, and, it's hard after that many years of your kid being your kid, so I understood. It was just a really hard time, but I live in Massachusetts, thankfully, and there is a clinic called Fenway Health, and they deal with transgender care, and they have dealt with hundreds of trans patients, so I knew I was in good care. I went to a couple of counseling sessions before that, but I just hate counseling, so they do informed consent, and I had a medical appointment, I had a mental health screening, signed the informed consent, and started to see a couple weeks after that. And now I am 6 months on T just about, and happier than I've ever been in my entire life. So I just wanted to make this so I can remember, if I ever look back on this, where I'm at and all the steps that I had to take. But it was just, I can't even explain to you the feeling that I felt from the time that I found out transgender was a thing and until I could start T. It was just like so hard to be able to live every day, but I did it, and I never thought I was going to get to this point. It seemed forever away. It seemed impossible, but I'm here, and I'm just happier than I've ever been. So that's all for now, and I'll be doing more videos besides just updates now because things are happening slower and, all that. So that's all. Peace.